Good morning, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video this morning. Of course, quite a few people have been asking about my history in mountain biking, and obviously I haven't just crawled out from under a rock and started mountain biking. I used to do a lot of mountain biking and used to do a lot of racing, and so I just thought I'd fill in, because a lot of people have been asking messages and different things about what went before. Obviously I've brought you along since I've started again. Went to France with my nephew last October with Jono, and watched him race and got all inspired again and felt like riding bicycles again and riding mountain bikes again, and picked up a bike in November, got the gravel bike and started riding, did a bit and tried that race, which was extremely unsuccessful, but sort of showed me where I was, what I needed to do. And then January this year we started training properly, so I think it was January the 16th we started training properly, and we've been getting along okay. And thank you all for coming along. Everyone's been coming along and supporting me in my training rides and at the races and everything else, so thanks very much, everybody. Just very brief history. I rode motorbikes all the time when I was young. Competed on motorbikes from being 12 years old. I had a motorbike when I was 9, and then I started competing when I was 12, and I ended up riding at world championship level on motorbikes. Anyway, then I kind of not lost interest, but I was doing it for so long that you look for something else, and I got into mountain biking. And mountain biking was just starting really in the 90s. People were starting to actually have a mountain bike rather than have a bike that was just something that you took off-road, but to buy a proper mountain bike. And of course, looking back on them now, they look extremely old-fashioned, but that's what we had and that's what we rode. So I started racing, and I started to win some races, training and racing, and started to win some races locally and travel a little bit and do different stuff. Anyway, cycling's quite an elitist sport, regardless of what anyone says. It is quite an elitist sport, and I was fortunate enough to have a few friends, mainly through other things really, rather than cycling, who were ex-professional cyclists, all on the road. They'd all been on the continent in different teams, so in continental Europe, in different teams. And this little group very small group of people, I knew two of them principally, and the group was 5 or 6, were a very elite group of cyclists, and people sort of aspired to go riding with them. Anyway, I attracted their attention because I was winning these races, and they couldn't work out how ex-professional cyclists were getting beaten by a guy who basically spent most of his life bumming around on motorbikes. And it was all to do with my bike handling skills, just purely that. I mean, having come off a motorbike, riding off-road on a motorbike, riding a bicycle off-road seemed very simple because it weighed next to nothing compared to a motorbike. And all of the knowledge I'd gained from being very young was translated into riding a mountain bike. So, I was doing well. So, I kind of got invited to join this group, which was a very elitist thing. I mean, they didn't just invite people. They were very careful about who they wanted to go riding with, etc. But one guy in particular, Simon Hook, had retired from racing on the continent on the road and was getting into mountain biking. And he was doing very well in races that were kind of flatter, more open, like multi-circuit races where you might have like a 4-kilometre loop and race round, but nothing very technical. And as soon as he got very technical, he was struggling. So basically, over a period of weeks, months, they kind of invited me to join the group, and then I would go out cycling with them. And then specifically Simon asked me to help him with his off-road skills, and he would help me with my general cycling fitness. And you know, imagine these guys are all, I mean, their legs, I was probably weighing about 78 kilos then, or something like that. It's just between 75 and 80 kilos. And these guys' legs were like my waist, you know. I mean, they were ex-professional road cyclists, so they're fit guys, you know. And again, didn't just invite anyone to join in. So I got in with them, and particularly with Simon, and we started training together. And everything was going well, and I think we were both helping each other a great deal. But anyway, long story short, 1995, I was supposed to go out riding with Simon on a Wednesday evening, to go out training with Simon on a Wednesday evening, and I couldn't make it. I can remember the evening now, because it's kind of one of those things that sticks in your memory. Simon decided to go out on his own and ride around a particular area where we used to train, very hilly area, right down on the southeast coast between Folkestone and Dover, where the ferry boats go across to France. Now there's a tunnel, of course, but then it was the ferry boats, and we used to train on the cliffs there because it's very steep, and there's a lot of land that used to belong to the railway line that you could go and train on. Anyway, he went off down there, and very unfortunately, Simon was killed that night. He had an accident, very freak accident. It was kind of finished riding, and he was coming home, and he was coming down an old disused road that we used to ride down, and it was a disused road, and we did used to fly down there, because it was, very rarely was anything there. Anyway, that night there was a couple of lads on a sort of field bike, off-road field bike, coming up the hill, coming up the other way, having been out messing about in the fields, etc. And they hit him head on as he was coming down the hill, and unfortunately Simon lost his life. And he had 2 young children at that time, young family and 2 young children. And I guess it kind of sucked the wind out of my sails, to put a finer point on it. I didn't really have the stomach for it after that, just for many reasons, and I kind of stopped. I carried on riding a little bit for a little while, but then I kind of stopped. So it's kind of a career that never really started, because it's a shame. I got sponsored by a clothing company, and that guy was right at the beginning of his life in cycling as well, having been a road cyclist and started up a clothing company. Now it's a big company now, Nico Lepage Clothing, and they make all sorts of clothing now. But then he was like selling road bike clothing and cycling clothing out the back of a car. He was just getting going. So I got sponsored by him, and I had a few other sponsors and a few other bits and pieces. So, it was all going well, but unfortunately that one event really sucked the wind out of it for me, and I decided not to carry on. So that's really why the bikes went in the shed, and got dug out last year after having my enthusiasm. And perhaps I just needed that amount of time off. So just wanted to let you know that's kind of the history of it all, and now I'm getting back into it again, and who knows, I'm obviously not, that was 1995, so we're talking about 22 odd years ago. I'm not the same person that I was then physically, but let's see. We'll give it a go, and we'll give it our best shot, and let's see how far we can take it. So thanks for coming along. I just wanted to fill you in on the background. Thanks for all your support. and perhaps that fills in a little bit of the jigsaw for some people that have been asking. I am doing this test this morning on the trainer, which is a very unpleasant test. I've had my omelette and everything, and in 40 minutes I will be doing the test. Hopefully I won't be seeing my omelette again, and I'll let you know how it goes. And this is a test to see what output you can put out. It's supposed to be for an hour, so you're supposed to ride for an hour to do this test, but you can do it in 20 minutes and then you use a multiple. So I'm going to do the 20-minute one this morning because I'd like to be able to get on with some other things. So I'm going to go and set everything up in a moment, and then I'll be doing this test, so I'll let you know how it goes. I probably won't film it. It's the first time I've done it on the trainer, and I need to set a few things up and everything, but after that I'll show you a few things on the trainer because it's quite interesting. The new technology on these trainers is quite incredible, so we will see. Alright guys, I hope everyone's having a good day. I'll be on Swallow Watch today as well, just keeping an eye on how they're doing, and I will be posting some more short videos later. Okay, thanks for checking in guys, speak to you all soon. Bye for now.